We are now in the presence of pure being, immersed in the Holy Spirit of life, love, and wisdom. We acknowledge thy presence and thy power, O blessed Spirit. In thy divine wisdom now, erase our mortal limitations, and from thy pure substance of love, bring into manifestation our world according to thy perfect law. flow from infinite wisdom. As I picture a crystal clear stream rushing down a steep mountain slope, I also see it gathering in still pools, calm, deep, and life-giving. This image reminds me that my words and actions flow from a peace that passes understanding, nourished by divine good. Open to this infinite presence, my heart is steady and my mind is focused. The words I speak and the choices I make become rich and meaningful. They are not surface ripples, but carry the depth and power of spiritual truth. As the water flows from the mountaintop to coastline, the presence of Spirit flows into every part of all of our lives. Divine love pours into human experience. I am both the rushing waters and the deep pools, and from this stream of wisdom, I speak words that give life. Proverbs 18:4 says, "The words of the mouth are deep waters. The fountain of wisdom is a gushing stream."
Good morning.
Good morning.
How's everybody feeling today? It's very quiet in here. Are we awake? We got good. We got one. We got two. Very quiet. Let's just take a deep breath. Bring yourself into this moment. We want to bring our full self into prayer and meditation, into these times when we're reflecting the truth of our spirit. Because so often we get distracted when we move through these words mindlessly. Have you noticed? How many prayers from childhood can you still say without even having to think? So I want to invite you, as we said the invocation prayer already, as we go into our statement of being and then the Lord's Prayer, to really be present in these words, claim them as your truth. So together, let's say our statement of being. God is all, both indivisible and visible. One presence, one mind, one power is all. This one that is all is perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. I am an individualized expression of God. I am ever one with this perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. That is the truth.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory
into our time of meditation. I invite you one more time just to take one deep collective breath and present yourself in this moment, leaving behind everything that came before. And just being right here, right now. Close your eyes if you're comfortable. Let your shoulders drop. Let your breath just become slow and deep and deliberate. Release the tension of the week, the rush of the week to come. And just feel the physical chair beneath you supporting you completely. You don't have to hold yourself up. You don't have to do anything in this moment. Just be. Let go and relax into the omnipresent substance of spirit in this moment. Now bring your attention inward, away from the outer world. And just center your thoughts on the living temple that is your body. Focus on the gentle rise and the fall of your chest as you breathe. Focus your mind on just a singular truth, that there is one presence and one power active in the universe that is moving through us right now. In this quiet space, we become aware of the silent activity within you. Millions of cells are working, breathing, heart beating, cells replicating without your conscious effort or even understanding. They are filled with divine intelligence. Imagine a radiant golden light illuminating every organ, every tissue, every cell in your body. Let us use our spiritual faculty of power, the power of our words, to speak to these cells in the silence, in the stillness of the space. Mentally whisper to your body, peace, be still. You are filled with the life of God. Again, just mentally whisper this affirmation to the cells, the organs, every bit of your body. Peace, be still. You are filled with the life of God. And then we go a little deeper into the stillness, simply feeling the vibration of that divine life. Visualize your body in harmony, dancing with spirit, celebrating the life that you are living. Picture yourself standing whole, healthy, healing. In this deep communion, we achieve the realization of our true nature. We realize that we are not a soul trapped in this physical body. We are a divine consciousness expressing through form, through this physical presence. And we feel the aha moment of knowing and embracing that the life in ourselves is God, is God's life expressing, perfect and unbroken. And with that thought, we realize our innate wholeness right here, right now in this moment. And so for that, for our divine temple that we get to live in this part of our journey, we say thank you. We express our gratitude, our love for ourselves, which we so often forget. So invite you to take a moment just to celebrate, to acknowledge, and to recognize the incredible being, the incredible body that you are. And remember that you are so much more. You are an expression of the divine. So as we begin to bring our attention back to the space with hearts full of awe for the miracle that we are, we give thanks. We give that thanks to God for the miracle of this physical body. We say thank you for the healing life force animating every cell, every breath, every heartbeat. Thank you for the power to speak words of life. And as we start to bring our full attention back to the space, we give thanks for the movement of our toes, the stretching of our neck, the wiggling of our fingers, for the conscious breath that we take together. And when we feel ready to open our eyes, we look around and we honor the light that is living in each person in this room. As each person in this room and beyond. And so it is.
May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be in thy sight,
I just want to take a moment as we go into this time of song to invite you to remain in this high vibration of life and intelligence. Let us anchor our truth in the music you're about to hear and in the lyrics that are being sung as an affirmation. We're not separate from this creative flow of life. We are truly one with the flow that the divine, that the daily word talked about, the flow of the divine of the cosmos. So every cell in our body is woven from the very fabric of divine mind. So as you listen, let us open our hearts. Let us open up our minds to this special song, Child of the Universe.
I am child of this universe. The ocean dances at my feet. am a child of this universe. I greet God age grace. I am a channel for peace to flow. All my honor, all of life. Yes, I'm one with Father Time. To every blade of grass, to every shaking leaf on a tree, to every mountain top, sing of the glory of God, moving through all, moving as me. Moving as you
Absolutely beautiful as always. Today we're going to go into a little further, deeper into a series about healing. And Mother Myrtle, as many call her, has really been the heart of that. One thing I want to share with you is how gentle she was with herself and with others. And we're not always good about being gentle with ourselves. So as I get ready to go into the idea of healing, I want you just to shake off the need to judge those areas that you think need healed. And instead, let's embrace them. We are incredibly human in this room. Have you noticed? I can be on a solid track. A thought catches my attention, or a squirrel runs across, and I'm like, whoa, let's go that way instead. And I love how we together guide each other back, pull each other in. And we're so good about doing that with one another. But today I want you to consider giving yourself that same grace. That same grace to go, wow, I missed that beat. How beautiful it turned out. Wow, I'm a growing edge in this area. I love to grow, I love to learn. But sometimes we talk about healing or self-improvement, and I'm so one of those people. You know me doing a lot of work with Tony Robbins and Martha and Haynes and these different people about healing and growth. But that doesn't say that something's wrong with you, that anything's broken. It just says that every step of the way we are learning and remembering on a deeper level the truth of who we are. That sometimes we forget. So can we give ourselves that grace today? I thought, sure. It's a hard one, isn't it? Give myself grace. I'm so much better at caring for others, forgiving others, right? Today, let's love you. And if you need a little help with that, I invite you to remember that inner age that you can have compassion for. Have you ever seen a baby and went, what's wrong with you? You stood up after you just ate. No. In fact, when you have stuff running down your shirt, you're like, oh, it was so good. I've been cheering my granddaughter on spinning lately because I think it's cute. Her mom doesn't think it's cute, but I do. But what if you did that? Oh my gosh, how embarrassing. So today I invite you just to have a little grace. I also want to share a fun fact. So today, I like to look up different holidays and observations. First this morning, I heard from our beloved Diane Jett, sorry I won't be there today, but there's a St. Clair Shores family event for bicycles. And she gets a chance to talk to children about how she learned to ride a unicycle. So and that's what she's doing out there. If you've never seen her do that, it's just magical. I don't know if I could do that. I could do that, but I don't know. But when I looked up holidays and observations today, it is not only the beginning of National Unicycle Week, but today is Ride a Unicycle Day. Have you ever noticed how aligned the universe is? I didn't get a chance to text her back and tell her that, but I can't wait to celebrate the survey she is doing on this incredible national day. I think it's also Penguin Day, but I'm not sure how to celebrate that. Go to the Zoom. But I just love the way the universe aligns. And so today, notice if there's something in you in this message that some part of you needs to hear or needs to share. Some part of the song. As I was listening, I was thinking about all the ways nature invigorates me in the spring. Because we're all a part of this oneness. So just open your hearts, open your minds. I want to begin with a real simple scripture that you may have heard. You've probably heard this in song even. In Psalms 103, 2-3, it says, "Bless the Lord, O my soul, who heals all your diseases." And like I said, I think we've sung, "Bless the Lord, O my soul." And yet, again, we put that out there. So let's bring it in. In unity, we do not view the Lord as this distant king in the sky, right? Charles Fillmore teaches in the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary that the word Lord represents the Christ consciousness. You ever get tired of me talking about that? Because it's all about this. If there's something you don't like out there, go within. If there's something you want to learn and grow and understand, go within. It's always the answer. It's the divine blueprint of this really perfection of every individual, even when we can't see evidence of it with our human eyes. Because we judge all the time, don't we? But we judge good and bad. So even remove the judgment on that word. Because if we call something beautiful, we're judging it, right? If we call something good, we're judging it. The real truth is not to release judgment. I don't even think that's possible. But to remember that the Christ presence is within all. Even when we can't see it. Because I know you're like, yeah, but what about that one? Even there. And then, again, it's not about seeing it, because sometimes our human minds are like, But if we can remember that it's there, it allows us to have a little more grace, a little more compassion, even when we don't understand. So when the psalmist says, "Bless the Lord, O my soul," he is commanding his human consciousness, his mind, right, the soul, because that's what that stands for, to align with this divine blueprint. So Charles Fillmore noted, he said, "Healing occurs when we stop looking at the dis-ease as a permanent reality and instead look at it as a temporary shadow cast by wrong thinking." He said, "To heal all your diseases means to restore the natural divine order of the body by flooding it with the truth of the Christ mind." That's different, isn't it? When we think about healing, first we beat ourselves up for the broken arm, because if we would have been paying more attention, we wouldn't have tripped, or whatever it is, right? Well, how do you think that feels? If a child trips and falls and you start telling them how they should have slowed down, how that was not smart, what are they going to do? They're going to cry more. If you say that's okay, let's fix it, they're going to believe in their truth again and say, okay. Give yourself that same grace. There's such power in our words. You know, as this month, the power is what Charles Fillmore called this power of the spoken word. That's one I feel like we should probably spend more time with every month of the year, not just in May. And I love honoring it, but man, we can be careless with our words, especially on days we're not in the mood. Have you noticed? There are days I say things that's like, April, time out. Like, clearly you should be not answering the phone right now or whatever, right? Because that human self comes up. But today, as we anchor ourselves in this power a little bit more, I want you to think about Charles Fillmore talking about this as not a brute force or manipulation, not as forcing yourself to be different from who you are, but it's really the spiritual authority to command what's outside of you, the substance, into form. It's giving you clay and saying, I know that you can make something beautiful out of this. Have you ever, what's the last time you played with Play-Doh? I think that is the funnest thing. I don't know how to hand Play-Doh to a child without me going, oh, can I have a pink one? And then, it's exciting. So what if you thought about your words as clay that you can form and either bless with or tear people down with? Because words have that power. The whole sticks and stones, right? May break my bones. And the term is, but words will never hurt me. That is not the truth at all. Your words have tremendous power. I don't know who came up with that little rhyme, but I think they were maybe practicing denials and affirmations. That doesn't hurt. And then you go away going, yeah, that hurt. Because words do hurt, don't they? So remember, as they come at you, everything you speak not only goes up there, but also affects you. How do you talk to yourself? Because I believe that's where the healing begins. And again, this isn't a place for judgment. This is a place for healing. If you beat yourself up, criticize yourself, always notice what you're doing wrong, how about pause and notice what you do right? Just find one thing even. I really do that well. And give yourself a little bit of grace, a little bit of credit. In the 12 Powers of Man, Charles Fillmore wrote, "The word of the character of God carries weight and brings results. It does not return void, but accomplishes that whereunto it was sent." Ooh. So when we speak, let's go back to our physical bodies. As we meditated on and sang about, think about your physical body. Every word that we utter is a command to our physical selves that our bodies internalize and obey. Ooh. Man, hip, come on. I mean, I'm not that old. I can't believe, how often do we do things like that in different ways, right? We all do it. If we speak words of fatigue, sickness, our cells mirror that frequency. And yet, if we shift that and speak words of life, of authority, of strength, of vigor, of love, when's the last time you spoke to your body with love? True love, appreciation. Then our cells align with the divine blueprint of health. And of course, that doesn't mean you broke your arm and you go, I love you, and suddenly your arm's not broken. That's not what it is, but your cells are responding and reacting. Your brain is going, oh wait, we don't need to go into the amygdala hijack where we're in fight, flight, or freeze, we're in protect, where we're in defend. And there's so many studies that show your body physically does that. But yet you can shift that to go, okay, this is okay, even though this is broken, we can heal, we are good, we are well. And, think about what we resist, persist. Well, if we're angry about, I can't believe I fell and broke my arm, then your body is angry too, right? We can shift this. So let's go into Myrtle Fillmore. She had such a gentle way. If you have not read Myrtle's Healing Letters, give yourself that gift. Just pick it up now and open to any page. She has such a way of speaking to others because as people learned about her, she was getting so many letters. What about this? How do I deal with that? And she just had this gentle way of loving people to return to their memory of wholeness. And that's really what she did. So this is how unity was born, really. We all know she was dying of tuberculosis. She was sick. It wasn't something they had a cure for at the time, right? And this disease was supposedly incurable by the medical world at that time. And of course, that was the truth that was believed. But she attended a lecture by E.B. Weeks and heard this statement that really shattered her old theology, resonated so deeply. We all know it, or we've heard it, most of us. I am a child of God, and therefore I do not inherit sickness. That is not your divine inheritance. It doesn't mean that it doesn't happen, but that's not the truth of who you are spiritually. And this thought triggered a massive shift where? In her consciousness, right? It's all about that from the very beginning. She realized that she'd been treating her physical body like an enemy, like this broken machine, and that she felt she had no control over it. But that shifted her. And in Myrtle's Healing Letter, she describes this. She said, to all the life cells in my body and begged their pardon for all the foolish, destructive things I had thought and said about them in the past. I began to speak to them, telling them they were filled with the intelligence and life of God. Wow. That's like making amends, isn't it? I apologize. Now I know better. Now I know better. Myrtle didn't try to force or fight the disease. Instead, she used the power of her words, right? The spoken word is this nurturing, authoritative tool that we all have available to us. She spent 2 years consciously speaking life, speaking love and strength to her organs, into the tissues of her body, to her cells, until her body completely transformed. Even Charles didn't believe at first. And it took him the evidence to see. And we like evidence, don't we? Wouldn't it be cool if, like, we knew what was coming tomorrow? Wouldn't that make today's decisions easier? Faith is probably one of the more challenging powers that we have within us. Because we use evidence of what we see in the outside world, and depending on where we're directing our focus, it can be overwhelming, can't it? But she used her faith, the power of her spoken word and her faith, to know that there was another way. And her body changed. She lived another 40 years in radiant health, proving that her body is a temple of living intelligence. No doctor could have predicted that. No one could have predicted that. So when we think about healing, it's about so much more than the physical body. In fact, it's completely about your consciousness. And making amends, whoever thought of making amends with yourself, but doesn't that heal relationships and situations? So it can only work for us too. So the other book that I recommended this month, The Quest for Wholeness, is by Robert Brummett. And he reminds us that we often try to heal out of fear. And I think Myrtle had every right to be afraid, don't you? I mean, things scare us, and some things are like, I don't know what to do with that. Well, if there's a situation in your life that you don't know what to do with, I'm here to, with the little get out of jail free card in Monopoly, I'm here to free you of the idea that you have to know. You don't have to know the how. You just have to believe there is a how. And it may not be here, but it's in this oneness of the universe that we're all connected to. So he said, we want to get rid of a symptom because we're terrified of it. But fighting the symptom, only gives us more power to be afraid, right? If we're pushing back against it, we're in fear, we're in assumption, we're in our story about it. Whether it's physical or whether it's a relationship, whatever it is, when we're fighting against something, people push back. If somebody pushes you, what do? You push back. It's natural. Even if you're not the kind of person to push. Somebody pushes, at least you think about it, right? Somebody knocks into you, even in public, you may not turn around and do it, but it crossed your mind, right? It shifted your consciousness into, hey, buddy, right? It's just natural. That's just a part of who we are. But fighting a symptom isn't the way, the path, the journey to healing. Brummett writes that true healing, he says, requires us to befriend our symptoms. Whew, take a breath to that one. Befriend your symptoms. That's tough. And he says another requirement is to listen to what our bodies are trying to tell us. When a body hurts, it's not failing us. It's asking for our attention and our love. Now I know that's tough because there's some things we just have to go, okay, this is what is. And what can I do with this? How can I be with this? Not tolerate, not deny, but how can I be with this? Robert Brummett also reminds us that true wholeness cannot be compartmentalized. And we do that. That's like a safety mechanism, right? Like, ow, that hurts, let's not think of that. Ooh, I don't like the way that looks, not going to look at that anymore. We do that, it's natural. It's a safety mechanism, right? It's a defense system. But he said we cannot seek wholeness in our physical bodies while accepting brokenness, lack, or limitation in our finances or in our community or in another area. So if you're like, well, you know what? The world's a mess, it's never going to get any better. And I know it can look that way. Turn the news off. Just come on, let's look in a different direction. I know we can feel that way. But if we surrender to that, just gonna suck, then how can we expect something different to take place within us? So you can't call one thing, this is only bad and there is no hope, if you're wanting hope and healing here without knowing how. Now that doesn't mean you need to know the how over here. But what if we could apply that faith to everything? In our words, even when something looks tough, can you simply say, I don't know the way, but I believe there is? Just allow that to be your consciousness. Oh, God knows and someone knows, because I don't. But can you believe just even a little bit in the possibility that there's a way? That there's a way to healing, that there's a way to peace. Just believe in the possibility, even if you don't know how. Because then that opens up your consciousness to unlimited possibilities. Children are really good about that. If you ask children if they had all the money in the world, what would they do? They would be like, and if you ask children to pray, I'll tell you what, they're brilliant. They have these huge prayers that even are some of the things we're praying for, peace in the world, everyone be fed, everyone have a friend. And our adult mind, somewhere along the way, forgot that all those prayers are possible. The kids have it. They're like, that's my prayer. Like, there's nobody so great in the world. And they're like, and that period, that amen at the end, that's firm with them. They're like, all right, what's next? Where we're like, oh, I don't know if that's possible. I mean, people get in the way of all this possibility, right? But if we just believe in the mere possibility, Brahman writes that when we try to heal or create prosperity out of fear, he says we fail. And I think that's true, because we're already putting before us the problem. If we're in fear, oh my gosh, what may happen? And we've all done it. How many parents are in the room that when their kid goes out for their first, their first time they drive on their own? Oh man. Now they went through driver's training, we should probably trust the process. But we're worried about not only an accident, but where are they going to go? What are they going to do? Right? And when we put that before us, where is our consciousness? Shifted into fear, not in faith. The minute we start that, but Brahman says if we look at a symptom in our body or a debt on a balance sheet and we react with terror, we inadvertently give that condition power over us. So really think about where you might be doing that. And again, without judgment, because we all do it. We all have places where we're like, oh, I don't see the way there. And we go into that place of surrendering to fear. Fear is meant to serve a purpose. I've said it 1,000 times before. Fear says look both ways before crossing the street. That's a logical choice, a safe one. It doesn't say you'll never cross the street. It doesn't say that when you look you're going to miss something and still get hit. That's not what fear is for. But we do that, don't we? And so what if we could just go, I'm going to be as cautious as I know how to be, and then proceed in faith. For me, when things ruffle my feathers, usually in front of people, I have learned to go, okay, pause. Pause and pray before I proceed. Sometimes it looks like a breath. Sometimes maybe we need a walk. Sometimes maybe we need a nap. Sometimes those pauses have to be a little longer. Sometimes that prayer needs a little more attention before I can proceed from the right state of consciousness. But if we can pause when we fall off that track of faith, we can have the opportunity to come back in alignment with faith, with that, out of fear into faith. So healing requires us to remember, not to know how, but simply to remember that it's possible. Right now, as a spiritual community, we are facing a collective opportunity for wholeness. We have a goal to pay down our church mortgage, and at the end, Betty's going to come up and share a little bit more about this. But this is before we refinance, and she'll give you all the exciting details on this. But if we look at that mortgage through the lens of anxiety, it feels like a heavy burden, right? But if we can apply Myrtle Fillmore's realization, her technique, her knowing, and we see this church building as also a living temple because it is. Then we can shift. It's made of divine substance, right? It was expressed through and created out of every brick, every wall, every dollar in our accounts through this beautiful space is filled with the intelligence of God. And doesn't that feel better than, oh, we gotta go to the mortgage company? Because we've given some meaning to that. But we remember the spiritual truth of this sacred space and us nourishing that. It feels so much different. Eric Butterworth echoed this in Celebrate Yourself, stating that abundance is not something we acquire. It is a state of mind that we release. And just as we don't pray for health, because health is our natural state, we don't beg God for money. Prosperity is already present right here within the spiritual blueprint of this ministry. And so we just simply pray and affirm the abundance within each and every one. To pay down this mortgage, we must apply the power of the spoken word. Collectively, within all of us, we bless our financial supply, just as Myrna blessed herself. And this applies to every area of your life. We refuse to speak words of lack, of scarcity, or not enoughness, right? Regarding our church home, our personal homes, different areas of our lives, maybe our vehicles. I know there's some prayers for new vehicles in the building, right? If we can bless that in that way, we don't need to know how. We just need to know it's possible. So instead, we speak life and rapid, supernatural blessings to see it as happening, to see it as done. And then the answers show up. Maybe, and even often, not the way we would have thought. We recognize that the same infinite life force multiplying the cells in our bodies is right now multiplying the tithes, multiplying the blessings, the opportunities, our offerings and our prosperity in all areas of our life, here in our sacred home, rippling out into our personal lives. We truly are whole in our body. We're whole in our ministry's finances. We're whole in our heart connections. They're already there if we're just willing to notice and affirm. So as we conclude today with absolute certainty, and I really want you to take a moment to see if there's a place within you where you're feeling doubt still. And just look at it. Because something may come to you to help you understand where that place is or what's going on there. There may be something unresolved. In fact, here's a fun fact that I learned many years ago. There are many prosperity teachers, Edwin Gaines, my personal mentor, Catherine Ponder, many others that say all debt is a form of unforgiveness. Ooh, that seems like one to look at, doesn't it? So just take a look if there's a place where you're like, I don't know about that, or how could that be healed, or how can this get better? Just notice and welcome it into a space of openness, of receptivity. Just say, you know what, I don't know, I don't understand, but show me. So if we can go back into this place of absolute certainty in your affairs, your everything, your mind, your body, your circumstances, the universe, the presence of Christ within is listening to you. And again, you don't need to know the how, but just in believing that it's possible. Sickness and death are not your inheritance. They're none of our inheritance. Truly divine wholeness and limitless abundance are. So this week, your spiritual assignment is this: to practice cellular and financial blessing. Practice speaking to yourself. Place your hand on your body and declare your truth. Declare life. Declare wholeness and healing. If you have to pay a bill, bless it as you do. I know we don't really write checks anymore, but it used to be a thing to write thank you. Thank you, God, on your checks when you write a bill, right? But you can still do that spiritually. You can pay them online. Bless your interactions. Bless your body. And then do so with an open heart. Whether you're tithing, whether you're taking meds, all these different things we do as an outward action. Can you do so from a place of love, from a place of an open heart, and speak words to increase over this ministry, over your life, over the areas in which maybe you have felt a lack. Just speak increase in abundance, love, and faith. the power of your words are not only being heard by the universe, but even by your own brain. Your brain doesn't know the difference between real and imaginary. So if you're telling it that there is healing happening in this world, every day at noon, I invited you to that a couple months ago. Every day at noon, I still have a prayer that I pause and I say, to bless this world with peace, that we are living in harmony, and that we are moving in that direction every day, every way, for every person on the planet. And I can feel myself aligned with that when I say that prayer, because it all starts right here where we are, right? So before we move into our final prayer, I want to share a powerful demonstration of this word in action. This week, I sat in what felt in advance like pretty stressful progress interviews. My cohort of 16 ministerial students had our final progress interviews with the Unity credentialing team this week. And there's all these rules and regulations. Look at the camera, don't look at the faces on the screen, and make sure you include this, and don't do that, and make sure you're wearing this, and all of this stuff that our human minds overthink, even if you felt confident at one point. And then even if it felt like it went well to you, you don't know because you don't know the people, and you have then 15 other of your friends that have become your family. So now you're worried about it for them too. And for me, I wasn't worried in any way, but somehow it was still stressful. So all this happened. And I'm overjoyed to share with you that I have been officially recommended for ordination. And I will graduate and be ordained from ministerial school on June 1st at Unity Village, so I won't be here with you. But this is my thinking. And as so many people go, there was never a doubt. I'm like, but you never know. See, that's where that ego creeps in and says, who do you think you are? I'm like, I know who I am. Go take a seat. I remember Melanie saying that in class years ago. Thank you for sharing. Now go take a seat. And that's exactly what I heard. Like, get out. We don't have time for that. But this milestone truly is a direct result of the power of the spoken word. It's the support of this community, truly. Unity across many physical buildings has been of support, and divine life moving through this ministry has supported my journey. And this is proof that when we align with that Christ within, with that blueprint, doors open, wholeness manifests. You're reminded of your truth. So I just invite you to carry this victory, because it's not just mine, into our closing prayer.
I really hate to interrupt prayer, but I feel this is important, so I'm going to do it. So when April told me about this, she sent me a copy of her ministerial readiness report, and I really want to read a few things from it. Can you hear me okay?
A little louder.
Okay, better? Okay. So, soon to be Reverend April. This is her readiness report. Just a few little extras.
This is the results of
all she did through, her
my interview.
Her interview, yeah. April Ellenburg demonstrates a powerful ministerial presence characterized by deep self-awareness and confident yet humble consciousness of office. She consistently models a high watch, bringing a prayerful pause and shared discernment to both communal and interpersonal interactions. Her articulation of resilience as a spiritual practice underscores her readiness to hold the sacred trust of the community, serving as a grounded representative of the Unity movement who understands that growth is a lifelong journey. And then there are a couple of little parts here in specific sections, empathy and community and things like that. She prioritizes oneness consciousness, viewing the community as a collaborative field of diverse ideas. She aligns daily operations with Unity's fifth principle, seeing the word as an active force for organizational integrity and community growth. She will continue to develop and share her practices of resilience, helping her future community navigate the natural cycles of organizational change with spiritual grace. And she moves beyond conceptual theology to practical, embodied spirituality in her day-to-day ministerial actions. And those are just a few of the good comments that I wanted to highlight and share with you.
Village. And thank you, Connie, for sharing. I sent out my letter just to a couple people who I had talked to around that time. And it was a 4-page letter. And the results were given to me while I was at work and read to me on the Zoom call. And wow, the flood of emotions that happened. And I came out of a private law office I went into my regular seat at my new job. And someone came up and went, "Oh my goodness, do you need a hug?" And I'm like, "Oh shit, hold on." Yes, I'll take a hug, but it's good, almost good. But it's been a long journey, and I'm really grateful. And although I didn't have doubts, it's still something. It's still a deep, profound, like, wow, who do I think I am? Oh, all of that, how incredible. So again, thank you. So let's just take that into our closing prayer. The idea that it's not just my celebration, but all of ours. And that who they think I am is who I think all of you are too. And that's the truth. It's the truth of each and every one of us. So let's just begin by breathing together. Celebrating this moment of victory and all of our victory. As we remember our truth. We let go of any remaining tension in our minds and our bodies. We let go of logistics of mortgages or any concerns about tomorrow that we may have been holding. And we relax in the absolute, unshakable security of God's love. So we turn our full attention inward to the Christ within. And we center our minds on a singular focus. God is our health. God is our wealth. God is our ultimate guide. We withdraw our attention from appearances of sickness or death or lack in any way. And we fix our gaze entirely on our divine perfection. We enter the deep silence of the soul, this moment of prayer, remembering that our thoughts are prayers. Here we commune with the living intelligence that animates every cell, governs every financial blessing. In this sacred space, we let the power of the spoken word vibrate through our entire being, blessing and affirming our truth as we rest in the consciousness of God within us. In this stillness, we achieve total realization. We do not just hope for healing or prosperity. We know it. We feel the absolute truth that our bodies are thriving, our church mortgage is dissolving in divine substance. And this ministry is moving forward in perfect order under ordained leadership. Ooh! We realize our completeness right here, right now. So with hearts bursting with gratitude, we give thanks. We thank you, God, for the miracle of our physical bodies. We thank you, God, for the overflowing prosperity that pays our mortgage in full. We thank you for the gift of this ministry, for the upcoming ordination on June 1st, and for the magnificent journey ahead of us. For each and every one of us. That journey is paved with blessings and with love. We release this prayer into the new law of mind action. Knowing it is already done, knowing that right here where we are and everywhere we ever go, God is. And so it is. Amen. So now as we go into our time of tithes and offerings, I invite you to take those offerings in your hand. And even if you give online or you give at different times, just hold the energy of that. Place your hand over your heart if you give it a different way, or if you have a tithe today. Put your hand on that tithe in your hands. And as we prepare to share our financial gifts today, let us bring back the focus back to that living intelligence of God. Just as every cell in your physical body is a repository of divine life moving through you, every dollar in this offering is a cell in a financial body of this church. So let us hold our gifts high, activating our power of the spoken word as we bless them together with our offering blessing. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I give joyfully and easily, for the universe is my source, and abundance is my nature. Divine Spirit, through the overflowing love of this congregation, we bless this offering, we bless the givers and these gifts, we bless this ministry. Every dollar is a living cell of abundance, rapidly dissolving our mortgage and building our future in perfect freedom, in consciousness of you right here in this space. And so it is. Amen.
When you look at yourself, tell me, what do you see? The many small imperfections, or what's underneath? Do you know who you are? I hope you understand. You are a child of God who made you, and He made you divine. Like a star that's shining in the sky, you're an angel learning how to fly. It's a blessing to everyone alive. It's not a lie. Divine, you were sent from heaven up above, and your worth is more than you can know. It's a truth that no one can deny. We can't deny. Divine. He just wants you to see what He sees in you. There is a power in your heart that you always knew. So don't keep it inside. You can shine so bright. You are a child of God who made you, and He made you divine. Like a star that's shining in the sky, you're an angel learning how to fly. It's a blessing to everyone alive. It's not a lie. Divine, you were sent from heaven up above, and your worth is more than you can know. It's a truth that no one can deny. We can't deny. Divine. Like a star that's shining in the sky, you're an angel learning how to fly. It's a blessing to everyone alive. It's not a lie. Divine, you were sent from heaven up above, and your worth is more than you can know. It's a truth that no one can deny. We can't deny. Divine.
That was such a beautiful affirmation of truth. Just so good. So I want to invite Betty up to begin our announcements, and then we'll pass the right of us back over to Beverly. But also, somebody already asked, will there be a celebration for ordination? And I want to tell you 2 dates, but you'll get more information on this as we go forward. When I come back from the village, the first Sunday in June, I will do a special service with just a couple slideshows I think you'll really appreciate. But that won't really be the one. But I will just be coming back from the celebration at the village. I believe I'm going to have a link because they live stream the graduation ordination. I hear they last forever, many hours. But I'll share the link in case someone's really committed. I'll be sitting in the room, I don't know, there's also the urban school and the international school that graduate all together. But that'll be shared, and I'll do a special service that day. But the first week in August, we'll have my official, I always say this word wrong, induction? Installation. See, I have a lot of words and none of them are ever it that I come up with. Installation service will be the first week of August, and that'll be really special, and you'll know more about it before then. But for now, I want to invite Betty up, yes, you, to share the good news and kick off our announcements. I think this is really exciting, and this is an important announcement because we need you next week. Let Betty tell you why.
As of May 13th, the balance of our mortgage is $65,062.13.
And wait, where was it a year ago?
It was over $100,000. The balloon payment is due June the 10th, and we are over $22,000 ahead of schedule because of the extra payments that we made. I've checked a few different banks, and without going into a lot of specifics unless people want to know, Citizens is still the best one for us because the fees are lower. The interest rate she held as of February, and you know, because of the situation, interest rates have gone up. So the interest rate that they're offering us is 6.75% on a 5-year term. The fees, including an appraisal, which is necessary, and the closing fees, is $1,860, which we will have to pay in advance. Again, the loan is for 5 years, and the payment, our current payment is over $1,400 now. This payment will be probably less than $1,300. We can always do extra payments like we did before, as long as finances are that way, that we have the extra money. Lately, some weeks have been down, but we've done a great job considering, you know, all the money that we've received. There's no prepayment penalty, and if we do not pay extra principal payments, it will cost us $11,000 to have this loan for 5 years. So I'm encouraging everyone to look into their hearts and see if you got a big tax refund or you have extra money one month. I know it's hard because of the inflation and everything else. Please consider making a principal payment. The sooner we can get this paid off, the better we are. We can start concentrating on fixing that parking lot. That's my next goal. I don't know. So I want to thank everybody for your attention, and according to the bylaws, we had to give you notification, which was the email that you received this week, to give you enough time to decide about this. Also, the bylaw says you must be present to vote. Now, I'm affirming that even though some people will not be here because it's the holiday weekend, that everyone is going to vote yes, because we want to keep this building. And it's a nice home for us.
No amount is too small to give extra, right?
No, it's not.
Any amount.
So thank you very much.
Yes. It's a beautiful thing to watch. So remember, you're not in this alone. You're going to be falling over. So this week, remember, your divine assignment is to speak words of love, kindness, compassion to yourself, to your health, to your body, to your world, to this ministry. But begin right here by yourself, to your finances, to your home. Speak words of love, of kindness, and compassion. Starting right here, like the song we're about to sing. Where does it begin? Right here with you. So give yourself that gift this week. Let me know how it feels. It might be new for some of us, but it's so important. The light of God.